In module 11th, we will discuss characteristics of professions and professionals. What are the how the professions work, and what are the indicators or the factors that influence the professions, and what are the indicators that reflect what are the professions and in what way the professions are formed and they work and work. And similarly, we will discuss those indicators which make or format the professionals, how the professional should look like and how a professional may work. Basically, the profession is a defined body of knowledge. Defined body of the knowledge means do's and don'ts, boundaries, limits, and one can go to this level and one can't go the level beyond to this one. These are the defined levels of anything. Therefore, the profession is a thing that's boundaries are defined, that limits are defined, that the body of knowledge, that's the defined body of knowledge beyond the grasp of the public. It's very different, and it is very distinguished type of the body of the knowledge that's not to be practiced or to be understood and to be adopted by the common person or the public. And for that, what one should do, it means that it's the very different type of the knowledge, very defined type of the knowledge, very separate type of the thinking or the knowledge. One has to make a special attempt to acquire that type of the things. Otherwise, in the general terms, that cannot be acquired. Profession is basically a control over licensing, certificate, and entry requirement. When you get into a profession, you need to make effort, or you need to make preparations of getting license. For any professions, there is a need of the license. It could be teaching, it could be medical profession, it could be the engineering profession, or whatever it is. Throughout the world, if we talk about the country to country basis, it is universal or it is international phenomena that which is profession and which is not. And to be a profession, what kind of the requirements and the prerequisites and the conditions are there. Therefore, internationally, there is a list of the professions, and in that list of the profession, teaching is one of the professions. Therefore, as I mentioned earlier, that for any of the professions, one has to there is a need of license, there is a need of the certification, and there is a need of the entry requirement. And profession is autonomy, is an autonomous thing. One has the autonomy in the making decision. For example, I am teacher. I have autonomy what kind of the method and what way I am going to lecture, I am going to mentor, I am going to teach my students. This is professional autonomy. And if there is no autonomy, that's not called as a profession. And the high prestige and economic status. In each profession, there are two indicators. One is prestige, and any professional, you just name it, the people and the society respects it. It is even from any, give the example of any developed country or a developing country, you will see that those who are, any person who belongs to any profession, he or she earns respect and the prestige in the society. And similarly, there is a difference in terms of the economic status of the person who is practicing any profession. There are fundamental characteristics of a profession or professional. Let us first go for the profession. For example, teaching is a profession. Engineering is a profession. There is characteristics. Number one is great responsibility. If I am a professional, there is a great responsibility at the part of the practicing person from the professional body and in that particular profession. As I already cleared that for entry into the profession, licensing, certification and the entry requirement are compulsory. It is for the individual. As far as the professions are concerned, the professions are monitored by the professional bodies. Whichsoever profession is, there is at the back of the profession, there is a monitoring, supervising body that's called professional body. For example, in education, and the teacher education or in teaching, if we take the example of Pakistan, we have National Accreditation Council of Teacher Education. That's the professional body that monitors what kind of the teacher we need, how the teacher should be, and what the teachers should improve themselves, how the institutions should play their part in developing that profession. So there is a great responsibility in each of the professions, and same is the case in teaching with the teachers. Another is accountability. As I mentioned, for each profession, like in given the example of teaching, there is a body, there is a professional body that makes the profession or the professional accountable, that if you make the mistakes, what kind of the accountability, when there is boundaries, when there is a specified body of the knowledge, then if one goes below that level of the knowledge or beyond the level of the knowledge or the professional requirements, one will be taken as accountable. And the profession and the are based on specialized theoretical knowledge. For each profession, there is a special theory. In medical, they have their theories. In computing, they have their theories. And teaching, for example, methods of the teaching, theories of teaching, and they have theories. They have specific knowledge that differentiate one from the other, that if you practice as a teacher, that what kind of the specific knowledge for practicing that particular profession one should possess, and what kind of the skills. For example, just let me give an example. There was a professor, and two intermediate students were discussing with the teacher, and when teacher asked that what professions would you prefer if you get an opportunity, it was at the intermediate college level discussion between the teacher in the college and the students. The one of the students said that I want to become medical doctor. The teacher asked and that I want to check what kind of innate capabilities do you have, and what kind of the physical things. For example, which specialization would you prefer? The boy says that I would prefer surgery. Then he said, for the surgeons, the hands should be like this one, the body should be like this one, the stature should be like this one, the temperament like should be this one, control on the sentiments like this one. Taking the moral from this example is that there are special characteristics that are fixed for special professions, and same is the case with the skills. If practicing different skills, different professions, different skills that are most aligned with that profession are required. And generally, beyond the understanding are capability of those outside the profession. These things are within the professions or outside the profession. That are the boundaries. And then the institutional preparation. For example, I work as a teacher trainer. What kind of preparation my institution has for developing me as a teacher trainer and facilitating me, and in what way I should develop my trainee teachers, and what kind of the practices, what kind of the facilities, what kind of the trainings are there provided by that organization or the institution. Autonomy and profession. If you are professional, you would enjoy your professional autonomy. Clients rather than customer. If you are manager of a general store, you are selling your things, you are earning from that type of the job. If you are a medical doctor, you are also getting amount in lieu of your services. You are also earning from that profession. That what kind of the attitude that differs medical doctors from that the manager of the general store. That is, the manager deals with the customers, and the doctor deals with the clients. The clients and the professional have some sort of the repo of the trust, and that has a personal touch. In terms of the customer, trust is there, but no personal touch, because there are recurring type of the interactions, and as the subsequent events and the activities, one's task is need to be accomplished. Otherwise, in one of the interactions, the task would not be accomplished for the either customer or the client. So there is a need to understand that in the profession, what kind of the attitude should a professional possess, or either it is client or it is customer. Direct working relations, as I mentioned earlier, as in the definition or the clarification about the client and the customer, there is a direct relationship, one-to-one relationship. Relationship means to evolve a repo, to have confidence-based discussions that may be touching the personal matters relating to the personal life, personal future planning, etc. Ethical constraints. There are limitations and the boundaries that a profession or the professional should abide by. The merit-based profession is very technical, sophisticated, and higher level of task or the responsibility in the society. Therefore, the one who is a professional is considered as a highly respectable and a high level of the mental approach of that individual. Therefore, for entering the professions, one should it should be based on, rather it is based on the merit. Capitalist morality. You accumulate, you earn the you earn the respect, and it becomes the part of as a capital of your morality. So in the profession, the capitalist approach of the morality prevails. Now we will discuss again clarification that what are those elements of one by one as a characteristic of the profession and the professional. For example, as a profession or the professional, there's a need of the collaboration, conflict resolutions that is based on the negotiation and the mediation, and the cross-cultural competency. For example, if I teach in a class where there are different linguistic groups, I should respect each cultural diversity. The one person is from another culture, one is from different culture in terms of the ethnicity, in terms of the religious background, then one has to take care as a profession and the professional. This is very sensitive for any professional. Financial management, the professional professions and professions, the professionals should know the financial management, information management, because with the passage of time in each profession, there is abundant creation of the knowledge. How to manage the knowledge, the professional must know. Knowledge of health and human services, leadership is important component, professional communication, professional development, professional ethics, public policy analysis, that in each profession there are certain conditions, prerequisites, do's and don'ts, that is state and the government or the international rules to be followed, and the statistics and the research methods. For each profession, there is the professions for each profession, and for each professionals, there is a need to know or they have complete appraisal of the latest figures and latest data in terms of the statistics, and in what kind of the research is being produced, and in what way he can produce his research, and the systems management. Now we will discuss the characteristics of a professional, and the professional should take advantage of every opportunity. He should be curious of getting every opportunity for the sake of improving his professional capabilities. Start by asking questions. This is a requirement of a professional. Start in any of the profession you are, you have to ask questions for your own understanding, for own your concept clarifications, for developing relationship, etc. Dedicate yourself. In any of the profession, we are talking about the teaching profession, professionalism in teaching. You have to dedicate yourself. Teaching is not like other professions, not a part-time job. It is, it could be, it may be, if it is primary or to the university level, it is full-time job. How it is full-time job? If I go to the class and deliver my talk and perform my tasks and go back and do my, yes, I have to take care of my personal life, my family life, my medical issues, my entertainment, my social responsibilities, my family upbringing responsibilities, etc. But teaching is a full-time responsibility in the job. How? One has to be fully involved in terms of the research, in terms of the abreast of the latest literature, etc. It's not a part-time. Therefore, you have to dedicate fully yourself to the teach in any professions, whichever you are performing. Use stories. In the profession, you have to be very good communicators. Your communication should be like a well knitted story or the statement, so that your client, your student, your audience should be much interested to know, to get something from you in whatever things. It means use stories. The main crux is to be very effective communicator. Develop your persuasive powers. You must be influencing persons. It is possible with the purity, with the dedication, with the honesty, with the high level of the reading. When you are good reader, your fluency, your knowledge grip, your communication skills, your grip over the over your students would be as more as possible. Therefore, your motivational powers, your speaking skills would be influencing and would be persuasive, and whatever you say, that would be influencing at the high level, and that your students will be following you and respecting your words.